morning and welcome back to B4 TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today we're in London for the 6th Business Leaders Forum and we'll be speaking to our session presenters as well as our members in attendance to find out what they're most looking forward to about today's event. So Steve, of course, this is the 6th Business Leaders today. How are we feeling?
Looking forward to it. Hopefully it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
A lot of information for our members. Our aim is to help them prepare for the future, and I think we've got a lot of speakers who could do that.
So Andy, what are you looking forward to most about today?
I think the variety of different speakers, we seem to have different ones every year.
Yeah.
They're always relevant and they always seem to be well received.
When you sort of consider the fact that it's a business leaders forum and we've got over 100 people, I think it can't be better than that.
It's a great opportunity to get so many members together, hear them all chatting.
The speakers and the content is always really informative.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the AI actually.
If I can come along and I can just get a couple of real golden nuggets of information and I can take those back.
See our leaders and just have a chat with them, what are their main concerns, and maybe try to answer some of the questions they have about customs.
And if there's one thing that you want our members to take home from today's session, what would it be?
Well, Gatwick is already a driver of the national and regional economies as a piece of major national infrastructure. I'd like to thank all of the BFA members for their engagement since 2021 when we started work on the employment skills and business strategy, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with them as we herald a new era with the ownership of the World Cargo Centre secured.
What should our members be looking most closely at in the current market?
I think today's market is basically not much growth, and I think that's where for everybody the challenge is, where can you find your niche in the business which actually still offers some growth.
What would you say is the most important thing that the industry needs to work on today?
People. This is a people industry, and with AI and with technology and with future progress and different generations coming in, it's still a piece of people industry. So always work on people, work on skills and develop people.
And if there's one thing that you want our members to take away from your session today, what would that be?
I think it's something that Steve touched on. It's really trying to engage with the communications that we're putting out, so you actually are alive to what we're doing.
What would you say is the main reason why collaboration between the industry and Border Force is so important?
I think ultimately we want the same things in terms of we want increased border efficiency, we all want improved security. So actually working with industry helps me to understand the problems and challenges that you have.
What would you say is the biggest misconception that forwarders have about AI?
I think the biggest misconception currently is that AI is going to take over everything and replace their business and we won't need freight forwarders anymore. Well, it's not the case. The human element and the human brain and your skill set that you've developed as a freight forwarder is still very much required.
Of course. And if there's one thing that you want our members to take away from your talk today, what would that be?
Start being curious, start dipping your toe into AI, and you'll start to learn what it's capable of doing and where it can add value to your business.
What's the one thing that you want our members to do to prepare for the changes that are coming in?
Probably to review their employment contracts and policies to make sure they are checking they can live with all those terms before it's a lot harder to change those contracts.
And if there's one thing that you want our members to take away from your session today, what would that be?
But actually domestically, I think there's an opportunity now to say, listen, we need to sort of fix our roof, not just when it's raining with the current crisis with Iran and the Gulf going on, but actually we need to make sure that we have an efficient border going forward that we can withstand these kind of crises.
Hey, what's been the one thing that you've enjoyed the most about today's event?
I think it's all the members being here together and the networking that goes on.
But actually, you hear everything from a slightly different angle.
But I particularly like Richard Smith's insight as the back driver shortage infrastructure. I see it close to where I live in the Midlands a lot.
Very interesting actually to see and talk about kind of politics and how it impacts our industry.
Content today was amazing and quite a lot of information
from the air to sea and to road and to compliance, even to the HR part. So it's very interesting to me.
I also particularly liked how you brought some outside sort of topics that are still really important to businesses, particularly in transport and logistics.
As a young person coming up through the industry, I think it's really important to be a part of these conversations.
Of course,
and sort of offer my opinion and be able to feed it back to the rest of my company.
A big thank you to all of today's speakers, as well as the members in attendance. We hope you found the event useful. The next big event is BIFA's National Conference, taking place in September. Tickets are now on sale, so we'll leave details in the description below. That's all for today's special edition of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.